Hi, hello, how is everybody? I hope that y'all are having an amazing day. It's Wednesday, which is like really awesome because all day to work. Wow. Today is Wednesday, and I'm really happy about that because all day today I was at work thinking it was Monday. So I was really, really happy whenever I realized the work week's halfway over. Hi, how are y'all? So I was going to go over something today. It's a little bit of an oldie. Thank you. But it's something I think needs to be revisited. Hi, because there are so many new people too. Hi from New Jersey. Oh my gosh, is it cold there? It's miserable here. We have so much ice, so much snow. In fact, my driveway is like kind of inclined. Hi. And I got home and I pulled into my driveway and I made it about halfway up, and then I just started sliding all the way back down it. So I ended up parking like half in my driveway, half in the street, and I had to shovel out my driveway, shovel out around my car, shovel what I could under my car, and then get my car up the driveway. So that was fantastic. It sucked, but here we are. So, yeah, it's brutal. You're making chili and biscuits? Hell yeah. We're making, have you ever been to Sam's Club, and they have like the enchiladas. We're gonna just cook those pre-made ones. It's in the low 50s in Georgia. Hi, Ashley. I've not gotten the stuff from Bree, and I'm getting really pissed about it because they sent it to me. They said on the 24th. I was getting ready to say the 24th. Hold on, let me look. Whatever last Monday was. The 12th. Hey, you love enchiladas. I like homemade ones better. Do I smoke or drink? I vape. And yeah, I drink, but not too much. Thank you. I actually wore makeup today. I thought I should surprise my coworkers and look a little put together. So, but okay, so what I want to go over today is Nick and Gypsy's old text messages, which have been out for quite a while, but I'm going back through them, and with everything that we know now, I feel like it tells a bigger story having these text messages. Hi. So, sup, babe? So I'm going to go over their text messages because, again, with everything that has come out, I think the text messages really show there's some interesting little details that we're catching here now that we didn't really clock what they were till the new evidence came out. Thank you. So I am going to turn my screen towards my computer where y'all can see what I am reading as I am reading it. And their text messages, they're gross too, but thank you. So, that was bright. Okay, let's turn this, to where y'all can see the computer. Let me turn off the light. Thank you. Okay, let me scooch this over. So the police start the text messages on Wednesday, May 27th. So we're going to start there. Gypsy texts, "What is it for, hun?" No idea what she's asking about, but he says, "That was my evil side who did that. You know, my good side would never call you that, hun. Maybe a bitch when you're being one. But that is all, hun." So he really said, "I'll call you a bitch." And then he said, "Well, it's all true, hun. And it was about voices in my head. But instead of getting rid of them, they became part of me, baby." And then he goes on and he says, "How it works is based on my thoughts and feelings. Feelings, dear, sorry. Depends on what part of me is showing, honey." And Gypsy says, "I understand, hun, but that don't mean I don't understand you." Wait, I understand, but that don't mean I don't understand you? Okay. Wait, what just got announced? Hold up. I'm scrolling in the comments. Pizza, send me a message. I'll tell you why. Her podcast is at 9 million? That's crazy. Okay, let's continue. Gypsy, I do. Defendant. Oh, wait. Nick. It says defendant, though, but that's Nick. Well, maybe after I explained it, you understand, sweetie. Otherwise, no one else understands, hon. Gypsy says, well, I do. You understand me and my different ways. Which is interesting, y'all. She's saying he understands her different ways. We know what different ways those are, do we not? Anyways, he says, well, we're supposed to understand each other if we just know how to express each other, dear. Okay. And she says, sometimes I'm too expressive, LOL. And he says, not really, because expression involves details. And you know I'm better at that, hon. And y'all, Nick does go into excessive details. What? Is there something happening in the chat? What's weird behavior? What did I miss? Okay, she says, yes, you are, but I, too, want everything you do, too. And Nick's confused. He says, what do you mean? And Gypsy says, everything you want, I want to be together. Nick says, honey, this is where we're different, though. I don't just want everything with you, but I need everything with you for me to feel complete, sweetheart. Gypsy says, I need you too. Promise me the good part of you will never die. By the way, I'm on Facebook too. And he says, really, dear? Because at times I wonder if you need me. And Nick was not wrong to be wondering that, because as soon as she could rat that dude out, she did. And then he says, baby, it could never die. Talking about his good side. She says, I do need you. It kills me to make you have to be on these ups and downs. So she's talking about, her personalities, ups and downs. And he says, honey, you would not mind using a sweet name every once in a while. It helps me remember I'm worshipped. Oh, so he's saying, call me something sweet. Like, hun, babe, sweetheart, whatever. She clocks right in. Sure, sweetie. And then he says, that's better, dear. Justin's live with Becca. Oh, fuck. That's awesome. I'll have to catch his replay on it. And then Gypsy says, it's not that I don't worship... Oh, wait. Sorry. I forgot to do her voice. It's not that I don't worship you. I do, baby. I do. I look forward to being with you. I'm just dealing with everything changing, hon. Now, this part's going to be interesting. I want you to pay attention because I said her mama was trying to kick her out. Listen to these next few texts. He says, about you or exactly what changes, dear? And she says, the move, the change that's coming. What changed, Gypsy? So you really were being kicked out? Darling, I'm scared. And he says, scared of what, my love? She says, of everything. I'm not good with change, baby. Nick says, everything? Sweetheart, we both have that in common when it has to do with moving, dear. She says, I'm gonna be okay. I just needed to calm down and take a breath. But darling, my feelings for you will never change. That was a lie. Then she continues, I'm yours, and you do make me happy. And then Nick says, I hope they never change because you are scared me at times. Wait, because you scare me at times, not you are. I don't know where I got the word are from. I'm dyslexic as a motherfucker, y'all. So let's reread that. He says, I hope they never change because you scare me at times, dear. And then he goes on to say, I hope so, honey, because I put my mind, heart, and soul into being with you and making you happy, sweetie. And Gypsy says, my feelings won't change. And though I have freakouts, I always come to you, my love. Oh, come back to you. Jesus Christ. I'm telling y'all, their text messages and stuff fry my fucking brain. My feelings won't change, and though I have freakouts, I always come back to you, my love. I'm so sorry I scared you. I'll give you lots of love in the hotel, baby. All those tabs. All these tabs are what my brain looks like repeatedly all the time. You just mind your business and worry about your own tabs and not mine. And he says, well, that's reassuring, dear. I needed that. And then he says, after doing what my evil side said, hun. Yeah, mind your own tabs. And Gypsy said, I reassured you on Facebook too, hun. Heart emoji. I'm just going to start calling these emojis because, you know. Anyways, she says, yes, baby. And he says, okay, baby, heart emoji. You said don't let anything in our way. I wore myself out being emotional and with bananas. But that's besides the point. It's true, dear. I'm guessing you have a correlation to that. Well, thank you. Defendant. It's true, dear. I'm guessing you have a correlation to that when I said it, dear. Oh, it's the same text messages twice. That's weird, because one's at 7:51, and then he resent it at 8:05. Either it was a glitch in the phone, or he was like, damn, she didn't respond. I got to resend it. She says, sorry, hun, I took a nap. And he said, I thought you did, dear. She said, I hope you feel better now, hun, because I do. I, too, feel good after a nap, Gypsy. And he said, I just needed to be reassured, hun, heart emoji. And she said, okay, darling, well, I love, adore, and worship you, my everything, and I'm not giving up. XOXOXOXOXOX. And he says, that's music to my ears, sweetie. Heart emoji. Gypsy says, a big smile. And Nick says, dear, will there be less of these freakouts in person? And Gypsy says, yes, darling. When we're together, I will be a lot more relaxed. Mostly because we can use hugs, kisses, and body language to prevent it. Nick says, true, and Smex will relieve us of that stress, or of the stress, dear. She says, LOL, that too, hun. Yes, dear. A lot of our problems are we don't have a physical relationship, hun, so it's hard, hun. Somebody said freakouts. Yeah, she would have really, really highs and really, really lows. So that's what they're talking about here. He says, true. I suppose most of our problems are physical related, dear. And she says, and I want you to know, being with me won't be hell. It will be much better, sweetie. I mean, much better than hell? That's not really an improvement, is it? Anyways, Nick says, when exactly, dear? Since you got me curious. And she says, well, I'm going to start now, but I'll be all the way better when we see each other, hun. And he says, all right, dear. And she says, do I make you happy? And he said, when you don't have freakouts, yes, dear. Nick is so literal. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I hate it. Anyway, she says, maybe you might like me better in person. By the way, I'm afraid of bugs, just so you know, hun. And he says, bugs? Dear, there's no reason for that. And you know, I'll worship you either way, whether in person or from afar. Gypsy says, I'm just letting you know my phobia. It's bugs and spiders. I thought her phobia was blood. Anyways, I always feel like crap after I freak out because you're caught in the middle. Gypsy, I can't stay even an hour away from me. You, what? I can't stay even an hour away from me, you. That doesn't even make sense. Then again, neither does she. Ever. Anyways, he said, and spiders? That's also something harmless to you most of the time, hun. And then he says, it's meant to be that way, dear. Or it's meant to be that way, though, dear. And Gypsy says, it's just my fears, hun. So you take your little creepy buggy friends and escort them out the house. And he said, exactly, dear. And don't worry about bugs. They're harmless, hun. She says, so we're all cool, sweetheart? And he says, yes, hun. It's just your freakouts that scare me, honey. And she said, we have that in common, hun. So she's saying that her freakouts scare her too? This is the Gypstein files, however the hell you say it. Yes, that's what these are. These are their text messages. And he says, of course we do, dear. And now we're to the next day. That was just one day's text messages. I'm already exhausted. And these go all the way up to the night of the crime. So many tabs. I know. Y'all keep hating on my tabs. Leave my life alone, okay? Every single one of these tabs, other than this one, and maybe this one, are this fucking case. Yeah, mind your own tabs. Okay. So, Gypsy says, we're all lovey again, my cutie pie. He says, that's great news, my Ellie. And then he puts the heart emoji, a smiley face. She says, oh, my sweet Carl. Do y'all get that reference? Somebody in the comments has to get the reference. Y'all don't? Up. Okay, so some people do. No, it's not The Walking Dead. It's from the movie Up. And she said, meet me on Facebook, my love. And he said, hun, I'm glad you picked up on that reference. Get it? Picked up. Ha. Nick was giving dad jokes. And she said, LOL, nice job, Cap Up. Defendant said, I knew you would catch on to it, dear. I did check the mail. Nothing came today. I was literally pissed. I'm getting mad. Like, I've called them twice. I've sent an email. Oh, thank you for the gift. Okay, she says, darling, will you tell me the movie you want to watch with me yet? And he says, oh, the same one I have is a surprise. No, dear. It's a surprise. Thank you, guys. Gypsy said, really? LOL. Oh, my God. Do you have it? And he says, no, sweetie. We'll buy it together, sweetie. Aw, he was already planning their future shopping trips. Gypsy says, okay, hon. Oh, if I show you a YouTube clip of a TV show, would you tell me if you would like to watch it with me, hon? Oh my gosh, y'all, she uses in her text messages too, not just whenever she talks. Even Mel in the Netherlands is faster. Yeah, I'm getting, like I said, irrationally mad about how long it's taking because they said they sent it to me last Monday. However, there has been a holiday, so I'm trying not to get too mad. But I've been following up like crazy about it. And he said, well, I have to see the clip first, dear. Then we're on to May 29th, which is just a few days before the crime. She says, hey, handsome. And he says, hi, gorgeous. Did these two both need glasses? Yeah, the excessive use of pet names. Just wait, it gets even worse. And she said, drool makes you horny? LOL, you're weird. Says the girl who can't spell. And he says, babe, you'll understand when you experience it. He said, slob on my knob, spit on that bitch. And she said, darling, I'm safe. Long story short, but tornado warning was issued. And he's, y'all sorry, like corn on the cob. Check in with me. Y'all don't get me into that song right now. I didn't take my ADHD medicine today. Anyways, he says, that's good news, dear. He's like, glad you survived. Darling, can you please meet me online? We need to talk about our plan. And he says, okay, hun. Oh, hold on. She says, I'm still daddy's girl. Hold me. And yes, it's kitty daddy. Y'all, trigger warning, because this shit's about to get fucking weird. And so you may or may not want to stay, but buckle up, because here the fuck we go. And he says, baby, why didn't you answer daddy before as I hold you in my lap? And she says, I was taking tummy meds to make me feel better, so I put my phone down. Then it goes into the next morning. And he says, okay, honey, just never change on daddy because I never want you to be anything but daddy's everything as I rock you back and forth in my arms on my lap. And she says, I won't change, daddy. I curl into your shoulder and cuddle. Ugh, the cringe. Yo, he's freaked out too. Yeah, they both were. And he says, I keep rocking you back and forth in my arms, on my lap. Are you my same daddy's girl that I reminded you of being in the past, dear? Why are they role-playing? I don't think they ever lived in reality, if I'm being honest. Like, 98% of their text messages are role-play. Y'all's comments. Okay, I gotta keep character. She says, hey, baby. Darling, does your house have any kind of car? I'm looking on Google Maps. And he says, dear, it depends on how updated their world map is. Last time I looked, it wasn't the right vehicle. And she says, wow, it's a small place. Gypsy's really insulting somebody's size of their house, and we've all seen the size of hers. Like, girls, stop. Ain't nothing wrong with a small house. You ungrateful bitch. And he says, yeah, it's small to a degree. And she says, I looked at the population and it's smaller than the smallest town I've lived in. I thought 7,800 was small. And he said, like I said, it used to be a village. Now it's a town. And she said, I'll adjust. I think she meant I will adjust, but she wrote it in cornbread because I don't know what ILAJUST is. Besides, smaller, less trouble. Girl, you are the trouble. Anyways, he said, I hope so, because it should be easy one to transition to, hun. Or wait, transcend to, not transition. They don't even use proper verbs or nouns or whatever the hell they are. I don't know. I didn't pay attention in 3rd grade, but let's continue. Are you ready? Like in all ways, hun? And he said, what do you mean, dear? He doesn't even, he's not even clocking half of their freaking conversations. Like, the amount of times he asks, what do you mean, is insane. Do I have her videotapes to him? Into the Weeds podcast has them. And she says, for me. And he says, if I wasn't, I wouldn't be so eager to be living with you, dear. She says, I was supposed to get pregnant in a week and a half. Which this means they are a week and a half out from the crime right now. And he says, okay, hun, so what are you saying? He's asking again. She said, I just said I'm not. And he said, oh, I see, hun. He's like, I don't even fucking care. She said, part of me is really worried about my tube. What if I could have it taken out being pregnant? And he said, you said you would have it taken out. And she said, could you wait 10 months for plan B? And he says, so you want me to get you pregnant again? And she says, I'm getting it changed, hun. And he says, hold on, put a pause on what he says. I got to tell my son to turn down his music. Okay. He says, oh, because for a second, I thought you wanted me to get you pregnant again, dear. And she says, I was just wondering, does Big Bend have a hospital? And I'm telling you, this girl, listen to these text messages, and then I'm going to explain some shit in her search history. She was going to continue the fucking con of being this ill, sick, fragile girl. Why am I skipping past that? Which part? The pregnant again? Because he has told people she was pregnant and Dee Dee made her lose it. But according to his people, he now says she was never pregnant, and he meant, are you wanting to go back to the plan of getting pregnant? You made popcorn? I'm so sorry. I hope it tastes as good coming up as it does going down. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Y'all are amazing. Classic lying about being pregnant. Yeah, I mean, the girl lies about a ton of stuff. She always has. It's crazy. You're having sunflower seeds as a snack? Hell yeah. Hold on. What is this? 1 second, guys. I gotta figure out what's going on. Something's going on. Hold on. What is this? Okay, I don't know what that is. It's telling me something about gifts. I don't fucking know. Anyways, so let's continue. You'll see why I say I think that she was planning to continue the con. And she says, besides, I'm late on my period. And like somebody said, the classic lying about being pregnant. 100% she's doing it. And he just said, no. Okay. And she said, gotcha. And he said, She said, let's move to Milwaukee. We can stay with your mom for a little. And he said, Milwaukee? I'd rather live in Waukesha, hun. And she said, okay, darling, we can look up apartments in Waukesha. And with the $5,000 I have, we will be set. She's talking about the $5,000 she was stealing from her mama. Just saying. You want to cash out people rent? Shit, send it my way. Link in bio. Otherwise, you're just a scammer. 1773, that's what my mortgage is. Just saying. Has anyone found messages of him telling her? We haven't found anything about a lost baby. Back then, 5,000 would have got you an apartment. Yours is only 1,200. I was responding to a spammer. Okay. Anyway, so Nick continues and he says, good idea, dear. Ugh. And she says, I don't need to marry you to live with you, so we can take our time with wedding. That is such a caveman sentence. So we can take our time with wedding, not the wedding. Like what? She says, I saw Waukesha looks beautiful. And I can paint and sell my art. Wait, does that remind y'all of any era of hers? Blown beauty art, just saying. Anyways, he says, dear, I know that. But you mean our 5,000? True, baby. And she said, yes, our darling. Smiley face. And who knows, maybe after a while, we can have a ceremony like a wedding, hun. You'd make a handsome groom. And he says, and we'll live in my birth city, hun. Heart, hopefully live close to Woodman's so we get our groceries extremely cheap, dear. Woodman's, I'm guessing, is a grocery store. I mean, it has to be a grocery store. Anyway, she said, Waukesha would be a dream come true, sweetheart. And he says, hun, we're still going to follow our kind traditions, though, dear. And he's talking about the vampire shit. Which is weird that they say it's our kinds. Because wouldn't that mean they are both vampires? Or are they too dumb to understand what the word "our" means? She took back her old account? Interesting. I'll go look in a little bit. And she says, of course, darling. And then he says, I look forward to it, my dear heart. And she says, I look forward to cuddles. She never stops talking about smacks or physical stuff. Yes, this is Gypsy and Nick. She said, I dreamt about it, and you gave me coral smacks. It always goes there with her. And he says, maybe so, but I look forward to kissing you, and I will do in the future. Oh, thank you for the gamer cat. Gypsy says, blushes. And he says, well, it's true, baby. Will you give me my first orgasm soon, my love? Will you finger me on the bus? I desire pleasure too, hon. Jesus, motherfucker. I feel like I need to go bathe in holy water. Anyways, he says, Hun, I may be naughty on the bus. Just depends on the moment. Depends on how naughty, hun. She says, well, I'm going to touch you, a winky face. And I'm going to kiss you too, everywhere. He says, dear, I may give you permission to, heart, winky face. She says, good, darling, smiles. Good God. As for the kissing you, no, you can do that on my body, sweetie, heart. Where else did they think they were going to kiss each other? Literally, even your lips are your body, Nick. Come on, bro. Emotional damage, yeah. Ban her from public transportation. No, she was 23 here. A month shy of turning 24. Anyway, she says, the first movie I want to watch with you is 50 Shades of Grey. I also think we should start with soft, wet, canal sex before big time canal. Jesus, take the wheel. Let's talk on Facebook, LOL. And he says, dear, I'll watch that with you to get us in the mood, which depends on the time. It could be a later movie, dear. As for anal, don't worry about that, because it's my job as your master too, dear. You make my girly parts tingle. Out of all their text messages, I do not know why, but that is my favorite one. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry, y'all. I lose it every time I see this damn text message. Oh, God. Okay. I'm glad I do, because I'm supposed to, hon. What a fucking response. She said, I'm thinking about you in a naughty way. No shit, you just said your girly parts are tingling. And he said, that's good, heart. Okay, now we're on to the Lord's Day, May 31st. Gypsy says, you're a great daddy, and thank you for doing the worst for the best of us. By the way, she's talking about, thanks for saying you're going to kill my mom. Really got me in the mood. And he says, you're welcome, my dear. And she says, looking at your movies, your movie likes and music, we couldn't be more opposite. Thank you. I like country. You like metal. I like drama. You like comedy. Goodness, this is awkward. Well, I'll expand my interest. And he said, those are just a few, hun. Yeah, metal. That's what she said, metal. Anyway, she said, I do like the animated ones. And he said, we have more in common than you think, or than you may think. Darling, please read what I said. Okay, hon. Good morning, my love of my life. You know what? I'm going to start wearing a ring because I want to feel married to you. So, one of those rings from the girly shop, Claire, will do. She's probably still wearing a Claire's ring, y'all. I think Ryan is the only one that got her a ring. Gypsy, no ring Blanchard. Check it, babe. Even I got a ring. And I'm a whole bitch. Yeah, the girly shop, Claire's. Anyways, he says, okay, hun. And sorry, I didn't answer until now. Thank you. My ring is really pretty. I agree. Gypsy said, I need to tell you a secret, hun. Oh my God, y'all are going to lose it on this one. This is also a really funny one. And he said, go ahead, dear. She said, I never stopped sucking Pediasure from a baby bottle. She couldn't even spell the word fucking bottle. And he said, babe, I already knew that because y'all forgot. He's He's fucking psychic or some shit. I don't fucking know. Anyway, she said, you know? ... How? Question mark. And he said, baby girl, seriously, you do not understand that I am with you spiritually. I experience everything with you, dear. That's why there is no point in hiding things from me. And she said, oh, okay, hon. Are you with me when I'm naked? I'm telling you, it literally always goes back to, like, how did we go from a baby bottle to, are you with me when I'm naked? Actually, I know why. It's because she's a fucking PDF. Like, she was like, ooh, a baby bottle? That really got me tingling. Yeah, we all need a bath. Ugh, okay. Gypsy said, well, I'm going to church, hon. So she, after asking about being naked, literally, look, 2 minutes later, she's like, well, I'm on my way to talk to God. And he's like, okay, hon, I'm with you at all times. And Gypsy says, darling, I'm 100% with the plan. By the way, this is the girl that tries to say, I wanted to back out. Here she is saying she's 100% with the plan. Just to reiterate, the plan was to murder her mother. And he says, what do you mean, dear? This motherfucker's lost. He's like, what? Yeah, fresh out of church, actually. You're right. 3 hours. She is fresh out of church saying this. What did God say to her at church that day? I want to know what the pastor's sermon was that day for her to walk out and be like, you know what? Fuck all that. I'm going to kill this bitch. How did Dee Dee piss her off? Did she make her donate to the communion or something? Or whatever the fuck it's called whenever you put money in the plate? Anyways, he said, what do you mean, dear? And she says, I'm in for it, hon. No doubts. And he said, okay, darling. That's all. Just okay. I was expecting, I don't know, joy, I guess. Another clue that Gypsy finds murder as joy. She's fucking excited that she has finally been like, fuck yeah, we're doing this. And he's like, dear, of course I'm happy, heart. Like, he had to switch it up quick because he was like, oh, this is the vibe we're going with. That's the autism right there. Like, and I'm not joking whenever I say this, but like a lot of autistic people do struggle to understand social cues, to know what mood they are supposed to respond with. And so she had to tell him, I need you to be happy, for him to be like, oh yeah, I'm happy. And she said, okay, good, sweetie. What's your stepdad's name, just so I know? And he said, Charlie. That is what it is, hon. And she says, okay, darling, cool. And he said, yes, dear. She said, please be online. Okay, darling. Monday, June 1st. We're now 10 days from the crime. And she says, so you won't end this? And he said, I'm not saying anything besides it's a waste of time. I don't know what they're talking about here. She said, get your ass back here now. She should have added Nicholas. Get your ass back here now, Nicholas. That would have sounded more like of a demand. I don't know. What do y'all think? Should have she added Nicholas? I got to rewrite this. She said, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to rip you a new one. And he said, that's not worth it. I always fight for us. It's your turn for once. And she says, me? How the hell am I going to fight if it's one-sided? The same way you have beef with the internet today. You have one-sided beef with people. What was stopping you then? Anyway, she says, what will I wear to impress your folks? I'm going to go with you, goddammit. And he said, I told you I will let you know in person. Why do you say it that way? I'm me again. So how long between these texts was there? 2:03 a.m. So about 30 minutes Yo, that's what he was talking about, her freakouts and shit. Because she's, I'm me again. It's your good girl, Gypsy. I'm back. I'm surprised she didn't say, it's your, what is it, Demona love slave. Like, the fuck, bitch? Anyway, she says, I'm sorry, my love. And he says, dear, you gave me another scare. And she said, okay, well, good night, hun. She's like, I don't really give a fuck. Good night. I don't know what's wrong with me. Do you know? And he said, come on, baby. I know you can bond with me better than that. I love, adore, and worship you, my dear. True love. And she said, I just did it online. Oh, I don't want to know what she did online. We've seen what she was doing online. At the same time, I didn't mean it when I called life with you trash. Stop. I seen your comment. She gets on his nerves. She gets on my nerves. The fuck? And he says, dear, it's about the smecks. Like I told you before, the sooner I give you an orgasm, the sooner you go back to your lovey-dovey happy self, hun. Okay, you know what? Same, though. I am a lot happier after one, too. So Nick might be on to something. He says, but I just said it back to you, sweetie. Please say it back, sweetie. Gypsy said, so Smex is like a tranquilizer? Oh, good Lord, Gypsy. No, it's... Never mind. I'm not even going to try to explain endorphins for this girl. Anyways, he says, baby, someday you'll how important it is in our life. She said, just forget all I said tonight. And he said, why you say that? She said, I never meant any hurtful thing. I'm in a self-destruction mode. Wait, I'm in self-destruction mode. When I'm like that, ignore me. But then, okay, as somebody who's dealt with people like Gypsy, she says ignore me. But if you ignore her, the mood gets worse. So, he ain't gonna win. Anyways, he says, well, all I could do is hope you come back, honey. And Gypsy says, I want to be with you. And he says, I know, dear. You scare me, though. I thought I lost you. And she said, you almost did, ... We wish he had. Then she says, I think I'm bipolar. And he said, what? Baby, I don't want to lose you, though. And you told me that I couldn't ever lose. Now I worry I will. Aw, poor guy. He really thought she was the prize. Gypsy says, well, it's more. I would push you away until you walk away. I can't leave, but I can make you leave. And he says, baby, is that supposed to be comforting? Oh. She says, in a way, yes, hun. And he says, please don't push me away too hard, hun. And she says, is there medication for bipolar, hun? And he says, baby, if I did let you take medication for that, are you thinking that it would help? Yes. Yes, Nick, we do think it would help. She says, oh, massive migraine. I'm not sure it could be the distance. What in the anime character bullshit is that text message? Yeah, please take all the medication. And Gypsy says, 'cause I would have jogged to Wisconsin the night I met you. Bitch, you lying, because Nick asked you if you thought you could walk or jog, and in your message you said, I don't think I could jog. Now you think you're going to jog all the way to Wisconsin? Yeah, she did put when I met why. This shit's hilarious, it really is. Oh, and she corrects it. You. And he says, so are you saying it will get better once we're in person? Gypsy, yes, darling, that's exactly what I'm saying. Newsflash, Nick, it did not get better. She put, I'll have mood swings, just not severe ones like tonight. Baby, please say it because I'm worried still, and it would be nice to be comforted right now. And she says, sweetie, please don't be worried. I'm not going anywhere. Well, I'm going with you, but I mean, I'm by your side, hun. The ups and downs will balance out with us being together in person. You know what I want to do after tonight's scare, hun? She said, have smacks, LOL, nudges your arm. I think that she uses sex as like a pacifier. Like literally, always to it. It's the only thing she has is her cookie. And he says, baby, do you remember the Tangled post I gave you a while ago? Shut the fuck up, because she posted, remember whenever she cut her hair and she referred to herself as Rapunzel and cutting her hair? It goes all the way back to Nick. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, anyone can find these. Her Flynn Rider. Of course, hun. You want to hit me with a frying pan? Oh, wait, she says, you want to hit me with a frying pan? Is this bitch retarded? Jesus Christ. Oh, wait, we can't use that word anymore, but I feel like it's acceptable with Gypsy. I apologize if I offended anybody by saying that, but I can't hold back with her, okay? The answer is yes, she is. Okay, so I'm not the only one. Okay. He says, sorry, I want to do that right now, just so I know you aren't going anywhere. Yes, the Tangled post, when both tied each other up. I wish I could, just so you would be stuck with me. She said, you are with a little red string, kisses your forehead. That's interesting, because she said that Nick was her red string too. Or not Nick. Ken. She did a post not too long ago about them being the red string theory. Thought it was Nick, Gypsy. And he said, how, hun? We are tied by our souls and hearts. No, y'all are tied by a murder conviction, but let's go on. I might tie you up in a kinky way, LOL. And he says, honey, I'm warning you though. You ever give me a scare like that in person, I will tie you up until I'm sure you aren't going anywhere. Because I want to make sure we never part, dear heart. She says, I won't do it in person. You're all I would have in this life. Well, she would have still had her mama, but, you know, she was like, kill this bitch for me. Anyway, she says, hi, sweetie. I got rest and I'm myself again, baby. She really plays into this. I just need a nap and I'll be good. And like, me too. A nap and sometimes a snack is all it takes, but she uses it a lot. Okay, now we're on June 2nd. It's sad because you're pretty sure Dee Dee loved her. Yeah. I'm going to start telling my husband that. If we ever like have a debate or something, I'm going to be like, I'm me again, whenever I calm down. Okay. I don't know what happened. June 2nd, we're on a Tuesday now. She says, I'm 100,000% in, hun. I'm ready, truly. Why do you say that, baby? Because I finally allowed myself to accept you are my everything. Oh, wait, she didn't even say you are. You're my everything. I'm pretty sure at this point she had been messaging Dan Glidewell. And, well, you can see it didn't go well. Anyways, I will go with you and live our dream. he says, okay, hun. Like, he's really clocked into this conversation. If I had just told somebody that and their response was, okay, hun, I'd flip the script and be crazy like Gypsy and be like, just okay? Who is Dan? Dan is a guy that she ran away with in 2011 that was 35 years old. She was 19 and he was on parole. Anyway, she says, darling, I'm so sorry about last night. I'm completely different. I'm your woman. And he's just, okay, dear. This man's exhausted. And she says, and I will be truly your everything. I know I've been up and down, but darling, in 9 days, I'm yours forever. And he says, true, hun. True, baby. And she says, and yes, I'm gonna fight like hell for us, baby. Do you forgive me, darling? We do not have the messages between her and Dan. They've got deleted. Or at least if we do have them, I've not seen them yet. I will keep looking, though, I promise. And she says, he says, baby, you have a couple of questions to answer online. And she says, please read, hun. And he says, okay, dear. By the way, I trashed my old show broken laptop. So look, we have her. This is also why we don't have some of her laptop data. She trashed that motherfucker and threw it away because she was 100% going to pin this all on Nick. And so she was getting rid of evidence days before. And we see that in the little bit of the history they have, where she was going and she was deleting messages days before. Oh, thank you, Light. Okay. Anyway, she says, so we can just use one computer together. And he says, dear, I answered you. And what about all the memories of us on your computer, sweetie? And she says, I saved them, but fuck you. What even happened? What transpired in 8 minutes? And then she says, you don't get it, do you? Never mind. And he says, dear, what the heck? Look, this motherfucker's lost. Yeah, another freak out. She says, I tried being there for you. All you do is make me cry. I give everything for you. He said, I was just trying to be nice while explaining myself. Then you say that. Dear, that was uncalled for. He is so calm compared to her. We don't even know what happened. And he says, explaining. He fixed the way he spelled it wrong. She said, I always put my best. And you say 90% bullshit. He says, baby, I don't only make you cry. I've given you plenty of happy memories. Thank you for the gifts, guys. Gypsy says, who puts up with your overbearing ways, your ridiculous political shit? Thank you. And he says, dear, I'm not trying to argue with you, so please stop. Thank you, guys. And she says, I was in a romantic mood. Now you screwed that to hell. And he says, well, sorry, I'll leave you alone. All you do is push me away. Sadly, 10 minutes ago, all I wanted was to snuggle with you. And he says, dear, just stop talking to me. You're only going to make things worse. Since apparently now I know I can't open up to you. Just because of that, you keep bitching. Felt that, Nick. She said, I opened up and I was what you wanted and you pushed me away. And he said, yeah, you told me to fuck off. I guess I'm a punching, or wait, he says, I guess I'll punching bag. He meant I'm a punching bag. And she says, why couldn't have you just been loving? I'm sorry, hun. Oh, she's flipping the script already. Look, please don't fight. Just try and understand I was saying how much I need you. And you basically called me a faker. And he said, I didn't push you away. All I did was, I didn't push you away. All I did was explain. And you told me off. If that is how you feel, then I guess I can't make you happy anymore. Sorry I'm a failure to you. And she said, can we please talk online? Please. We're going to be living together soon. Shouldn't we at least try to make this work? She said, you can't let go this close to my plan. I need you. I need you to kill my mama. You are safe from me now. I did the right thing. And then he says, dear, I hope you come back. She said, you are free, sweetie. You don't have a bitch of a girl now. And he said, free, yes, free to die. Bye, my love. Y'all, trigger warning, he's going to threaten to end his life, just so you know. I want y'all to be fully aware. If that's something that makes you uncomfortable, go ahead and exit the chat. And she says, Daddy, Daddy, crying, ... What do you mean? ? My love, Nicholas, answer me. And he says, sweetie, if Bella doesn't come back, I don't want anyone else. So I'll end it, my darling daughter. Just know that Daddy always worshipped you. And she says, end what? I don't understand, Daddy. And he said, I'm gone. Bye, my everything. I'll miss you all. And time to end it all. Who is Bella? Bella's one of her personalities. She says, wait, Daddy, wait. Please end us, ? You mean you won't be mine anymore? And he said, what does my daughter want? Because I go to hell. Or before I go to hell. She said, I want you to stay with me. You said you was coming to get me. And he says, Bella doesn't want me, so no one will have me but her. So I will go to hell then if I can't have her. She said, she does want you. Needs you. You have lots of girlfriends. You're handsome. And he says, I'm done. Bye, my love. You say you need me, but you broke us off, so I cut myself off. If you don't stop me in time, because without you, I am nothing. It's so dramatic. She says, are you threatening to kill yourself? You can't. And he says, why? She says, because if you do, then I will as well. What in the Shakespeare hell is this? He says, then come back before I do it, because you know I always back up my words. And she says, please, please don't do it, my love. Please, please. I want you, I do. I'm bad for you. Oh, I want you, I do, but I'm bad for you. Stay with me, please. And he says, I'm about to put the blade on my wrist and let it bleed if you don't come back within the next 3 minutes. She says, I'm here, my love. I'm back. Look, I'm going to Facebook now. Then I'll put the blade away for now. You better get online if you mean what you are saying. And she says, huge kiss for the one I missed. And he says, okay, dear heart. And then this right there, the little dots and the asterisk, just so y'all are aware, with the hearts, the weird asterisk thing in the other heart, that's a vampire kiss. I did not know what that was. However, they explain that in their messages, that it's a vampire kiss because, you know, only the weirdest things for them. And he says, sweetie, I hope you are on soon because I'm missing you. She says, darling, I'm missing you too. Just let me take a small nap, okay? XOXOX. And he says, okay, sweetie, sweet dreams, my darling heart. She says, darling, I'm on now, but read a message sent to on your joint account. But read a message sent to you on our joint account. Holy hell. My reading is as bad as their writing. It's your cousin. He wants to go fishing. Okay, sweetie. Now we're 7 days away from... Oh, y'all, thank you so much for the hearts, the likes, and all the gifts. Y'all are amazing. Gypsy says, hi, darling. I'm sorry I fell asleep last night without telling you good night. He says, it's all right, hun. I've noticed, though, you're on a lot less often than you used to be, dear. She said, I explained, hun. Hold on. She says, I'm on right now, baby. And he says, okay, sweetie. Now we're on June 4th. Sending hugs and kisses. And he says, thanks, sweetie. Thanks, sweetie. Instead of sweetie. And then he corrects himself, sweetie. She says, good afternoon, darling. And he says, good afternoon, sweetie. And she says, oh my God, I had so many smex dreams of you last night. He said, of all different kinds, dear? She said, yes, darling. And he says, okay, sweetie. She said, warning, I'm in a very smexual mood. Ooh la la. He says, honey, you could be in a top-notch smexual mood throughout our life together, and it wouldn't bother me. She said, good, darling. You're going to need the energy. He said, why do you say that, baby? And she said, you pick it, hun. Wait, she says that twice. You pick it, hun. You pick it, hun. Message for you. And then he says, babe, I'm already on, heart. And he says, I had to restart my computer, dear. And she said, okay, darling. Now we're on June 5th. And she says, darling, what color restraints do you want? Black or pink? And he says, dear, we're collecting them, but get black, sweetie. She's, okay, darling. But she didn't want to be tied down. I mean, never mind. I'm not even going to go into it. Saturday, June 6th. She says, honey, I was wondering, say I wanted to have sex with a guy before leaving town, could I? I'm just curious. It's just curious question, LOL. Okay, so I know you're territorial, but I'm being tempted, sexually. Darling, can we talk online, please? I'm guessing you're napping. I thought you wasn't getting my text, hon. And he said, I was. I didn't hear them, though, dear, since my phone was on vibrate. Let's see how long it was that he ignored her. 4:49. From 9:50. Oh, almost a whole day. Oh, shit. What was Nick doing? He agreed to meet up. We're going to get coffee at the cupcake place Thursday, so that will close that. Okay, I was making sure I didn't skip anything. It's a public place, so all good, hon. Yes, this is about Dan. And he said, dear, still, I told you I'll be around in the area of it to make sure he don't do anything. And you have to accept that. And she says, okay, darling. What time does our bus leave on Thursday, hon? And he said, 6:13 p.m., dear. Or, I may be off a few minutes, darling. And she says, okay, hon. I found the flogger. And he says, that's good news. But Nick was the one into crazy shit. Yeah, Gypsy is the one who went and bought the restraints and the flogger. Okay, Gypsy, nobody's buying your shit. She says, I miss you too. Hun, oh wait, I miss you, hun, so much. My heart is racing. I miss you, hun, so much. My heart is racing. She sent it twice. And he said, why is your heart racing? She said, because I can't wait to see you. Then we feel mutual, dear heart. And she said, darling, you have an important message. And he says, okay, babe, June 7th. Darling, I was caught on my phone, but made my mom think I was during her phone. Which is interesting because Gypsy wants us to believe that her mother was like excessively abusive, but she was caught on a phone and her mom was just like, yeah, okay, you're on somebody else's phone. But I'm going to believe it's mine. Like, the fuck? So I have to lay low until untip Wednesday. Not until. And he says, okay, dear, just try to text me when you can. Okay, baby. We can talk on Skype, hun. Please? Okay, baby. Hold on. I want to look at something. So she was caught on her phone June 7th on a Sunday. Till Wednesday. Look for activity. Because I have her cell phone logs. I'm going to look and see if she was on her phone in between that little short gap. And if she was, what was she doing? Okay. Anyways, he says, okay, dear, just try to text me when you can. Okay, baby. We can talk on Skype then, please? And he says, okay, baby. June 8th. Now they're 2 days away from the crime. He says, sweetheart, just wanted to say that I'm missing you and also that I love, adore, and worship you, my everything. Oh, look, she's responding to him, but she said she couldn't be on her phone till Wednesday, but it's fucking Monday. Okay. Hi, darling. I'm so sorry I didn't say goodnight. I was made to sleep on the front porch with bugs. So her mom kicked her out? I peed in the bushes. It's been rough. So she wants us to believe her mom forced her to be in the wheelchair at all times, but somehow she slept on the porch, got out of her motherfucking wheelchair, pissed in the bushes, and her mom that was abusive didn't whoop that ass for doing that. Like, bitch, why'd you get out your wheelchair? Doesn't she also claim her mama made her wear diapers? So why wouldn't she peed in her diaper? Like, the math ain't fucking mathin', Gypsy. Ugh, okay. Darling, I'm not even sure of the password, but if it's not One Angel Heart, it would be my name, or it would be Gypsy Rose, or One Gypsy Rose. The good thing is, if you forget it, at least have your confirmation number down and the card it was purchased with, hun. They can look it up. He says, okay, baby, I was hoping you would have said our sacred words, but thanks for your help, hun. She said, you're welcome, M. Love. And I will text you, hun. Okay, dear. I love, adore, and worship you, my everything. I love, adore, and worship you too, my everything, times infinity. Aww. Baby, I called you the cab company and everything is going well. Wait, baby, I called the cab company and everything is going well. Okay, sweetie, good. I just ate. Feel a lot better now. Oh, Gypsy, thought your mama didn't let you eat food, baby. How you eating? Your mama's still alive at this point. But I didn't eat till I got to prison. Bitch, you a liar. Good, honey. Her. I can't believe you was able to go. Your mom is okay with it? Dude, I don't know who you are, but stop inviting me. Sorry. Dear, it don't matter if she is okay with it or not. I'm on my way, honey. Or wait, I'm my own man, honey. I don't know why I said on my way. Anyways, Gypsy says, I know, sweetie. If she knows you're escorting me back with you, it should be fine, hon. She'll know within time, honey. Okay, darling, you have lots of guts. I told you already, dear. Nothing is keeping us from being together, and I meant it when I said that. So do I. Heart, okay, sweetie. Text me soon to give me an update. Kiss. He says, will do, my love, and he sends a vampire kiss. Those are so important in their relationship. I'm just saying, if you can still text like this, please start sending your man or your woman them vampire kissies. Just all up on them. Yeah, I did notice that she wasn't responding as quick whenever he was on the way. He says, dear, my stepdad is taking me to the bus station instead. She says, okay, sweetie. He says, dear, look at your email. I need to know the reference number. She says, 569-28685. He says, thanks, sweetheart. I got your back, hon. You're welcome. Remember, Gypsy said she grew up in the ghetto. I wonder if she was trying to talk ghetto there, since she likes a new personality and all. I would really love for her to define what a ghetto is, by the way. Anyways, I got your back too. Update, I'm at the bus station waiting for my time to get on the bus. Stop. Look, he put my time in caps. Think about her book, My Time to Stand. His was my time to get on the bus. Oh, Gypsy absolutely has me blocked. I was the 4th person she blocked when she made a new account. That's why I said I wanted to go back and read these again, is because there's so much more that stands out now that we have the FOIA documents. Gypsy said, it's all good. You got the tickets, hon? And he says, dear, please go with the story I told my mom and stepdad. Yes, dear. She said, please let me know what story. He said, I'll tell you in person, dear, because I'll be able to explain it better, hon. Or better then. How did she have time for all of these? That girl had nothing but time. Her mom was not no fucking helicopter parent, like she says. Because add that on top of all the raunchy ass fucking messages from their Facebook and their Skype as well. She had nothing but time. Anyway, she says, okay, darling, I'm not saying a word on Facebook to anyone. That's a lie, because she was trying to see Dan before she left. And he said, that's good, darling. She said, making up a song on the road to destiny, la, la, la. And he said, interesting, dear. He did not give a shit about this song. I've been on a bus from Hyannis. Is that how you say it? Hyannisport to Boston. I enjoyed it. Interesting, hon. Oh, wait, he says, interesting, hon. She said, is Big Bend and safe place to live, hon? And he said, darling, you almost never hear of crime in Big Bend. Okay. You know, Springfield, while it is a small city, the crime rate was not that high there either. Just want to put that out there. She said, that's wonderful. He says, yes, baby. Also, how are they going to talk about the crime rate of a town when they were about to increase it? Like, the fuck? That's like 2 robbers going into a bank and being like, well, this bank's never been robbed before, has it? No. Anyways, she said, you might think I'm spoiled by how my room looks. A closet full of brand name clothes. Have y'all seen these brand name clothes? I just need to know. Because they literally were Disney clothes. She talks about them like she had freaking Gucci and Prada in that bitch. It wasn't Target. It was Disney. It was Disney and Justice brand. And there was a lot of is it Jamboree or some shit that's from Walmart? Like, girl, full stop. Anyways, he said, I already know you're spoiled, hun. Which also, let's clock this. She's spoiled, not abused, spoiled. Anyways. She says, LOL. He said, I knew that would make you laugh, dear. My heart is like, boom, boom, boom. I don't think it knows how to be calm when you're going to be with me. He says, LOL, that's a good thing, dear. Darling, I'm going to go to the ER to get my tube changed. I'll be off my phone for a few hours. Which this is the video we have of her and Dee Dee in the emergency room. And he says, okay, hun, be safe. She says, you too, sweetie. All right, darling. Update, dear. I'm on the bus to Chicago. Update, darling. I'm on the way to St. Louis. Update, dear. I'm at the bus station in Champaign, Illinois. Hope to be in St. Louis soon. And she says, darling, I'm home. That's good, dear. I'm glad you made it. It was a 6-hour wait in the ER. Wow. At least it's done, so we're good for a year. See, she didn't plan on having that motherfucker taken out. She was wanting to keep it. Because once again, Gypsy wanted to continue the medical con. She was the captain of that motherfucking ship, if you ask me. I'm not saying that, her actions are. Anyways, Gypsy, it can be done, even by me, but I won't unless I have to. I missed you, baby. He said, I missed you too, sweetheart. Hun, sorry I didn't answer right away. I didn't feel it vibrate, dear. Dear, I guess you're either busy or not online anymore. I guess you aren't able to keep me company right now. I hope you're back soon because I'm already missing you, hun. Hi, sweetie, I'm here. I just ate and took a bath, hun. There she is, eating again, which is crazy for a girl who claims to have never fucking ate till she went to jail. Are you listening to your iPod, hon? And he said, yeah, I'm glad you are. LOL. Okay, no, babe. Just waiting for text from you and paying attention to my surroundings. Okay, sweetie. Well, I was able to make peace with Mom. So she made peace with her mom a night before it happened. Why would she do that? Her poor mom. And he said, I knew you would. I believed in you. Or I believed in you that you could do it the full time, dear. What? Oh, that she could make peace with her mom. Oh, so I wonder if at this point, like, Nick was like, fuck yeah, she made peace with her mom. I don't have to go kill that bitch. Because, I mean, that's the way I would take it if somebody had sent me that. I don't know. Let's go on. She said, I feel better. I just can't believe you're like in Missouri. It's so overwhelming in a good way. And he said, I hope in a good way, hun. She says, yes, darling. In a great way, hun. I feel so excited. There she is with that word excited before. She's so excited to commit this crime. And he says, I'm glad we feel mutual about the situation, darling. Notice he didn't send her no fucking vampire kiss that time. She said, tomorrow is the last night we sleep alone. And he said, true, baby. However, I'm going to pay for nights separately. She said, okay, hon. And he said, so the night you come to the hotel is another separate night from tomorrow, dear. Darling, as you know, I'm trying to save as much money as I can. And she said, I know, baby. And you don't need to pay for me to sleep with you at the hotel. I will sneak with you. And he said, I know, dear. That's what I plan on doing. She said, good, hon. Okay, dear. Or he said, okay, don't deny it. You even knew that was what I was planning on doing. Well, yeah. I'm your gal. Bring me back to your hotel. Wink, wink. He said, with pleasure, my dear. And then he was like, guess you're busy, hun. I guess you aren't able to keep me company right now again. I hope you're back soon because I'm already missing you, hun. And she says, bites lips, squeaks. Which, okay, y'all. This right here, the squeaks, SKWEEKS. Poor Nick is so confused on my life. You can go to his search history and he goes to dictionary.com and he looks this word up. SKWEEKS. That is so sad to me. Like, that tells you the level that he was not operating on. Yeah, it did tell him that it meant squeak, like SQ, you know? She says, I'm back, hon. And he says, LOL, nice way to come back, sweetie. June 9th. We're getting ready to get into the crime. Thanks for the laughter, dear. Hey, I can't help it. You're a sweetie. He says, well, then, would a sweetheart like a sweetie? She says, I would, sweetie. Then ask Daddy politely, sweetheart, may I have Daddy's sweetness, please? Good Lord. Yes, you may, dear. But warning, once you taste it, you won't want anything. You'll be so addicted to it, darling. Anything else? Oh, God. I'm fine about being Daddy's little addict. A winky face. Fuck. He says, that's Daddy's girl. She said, LOL. And he says, why the laughter, hun? Like, he doesn't understand. She said, 'cause I'm so happy. She's so happy. Not even 14 hours before the murder, she's so happy. Freaked out in a damn wheelchair. He says, that's a great reason, dear. And she says, heart and a smiley face. And he says, he says, LOL. She says, sweetness, I'm going to go take my meds. Oh, so here she's voluntarily giving herself meds. Not her mama giving them to her. But I digress. And he says, okay, dear. Update, I'm in St. Louis, honey. Yay! Yes, dear. Update, sweetie. I'm about to be on my way to Springfield. Ugh. This is so sad because we know what the ending is. He says, update, sweetheart, I'm on my way to Springfield now. Heart, smiley face. My heart just leapt out now. He says, why is that, hun? Because I want to know why, dear. I hope it's a good reason, dear, or you'll worry me. Please tell me soon, honey. You don't need me worried about you. She says, darling, it's because I'm so happy. This is how Gypsy's describing the fact that they're about to murder her mother. Joy, excited, happy. I need you to clock those three things because they tell a lot about her emotional state. Yeah, he had anxiety. Thank you. And she says, you're near, heart. I'm perfectly wonderful. Oh, she's also perfectly wonderful. And he says, okay, dear, I was scared for a moment there, but now I'm blissful, sweetie. True, baby. I'm getting close. Wait. Oh, yeah, that was him. Okay. So am I, darling. He says, great, because that's always how I want you, honey. All he wanted was for Gypsy to be happy. It's so sad. He says, or she says, try and get some sleep on the bus, hon. And he says, nah, I'll just get it at the hotel, sweetie. She says, okay, darling. Well, I'll check back later. I may sleep for a bit. I think you get to town at 5:15. And he says, okay, baby. You know I'll keep you updated. And she says, okay, darling. Or wait, she says, darling, I don't think the hotel takes check-ins until 11. And he said, no, they do. I'll just have to pay a little bit more, hon. Okay, darling, good. By the way, the taxi number is 417-862-5511. And he says, yes, sweetie. And I'm walking to the hotel. I've done it before, and it saves money. But thanks for the number, hon. Update, I'm in Springfield, baby. Yay! Gypsy, I was asleep, LOL. You're at the hotel, hon? He said, yes, sweetie, but it was extra expensive. She said, that's fine, hon, as long as you're safe. He said, I'm safe, hon, but I may barely make it to you tomorrow. I'm under $200. She said, you'll make it. How much is the night tomorrow night, hon? You're not far from me. Maybe 4 meals. She meant miles, but again, that bitch can't spell. And he said, well, I have to pay $140 for one night because I was early, dear. She said, unless you want to do it tonight, like the late part of the night, ? She's like, hello? Tonight? Please, let's go. Answer me. It's been not even a whole minute. Respond. The fuck? Then she texts 1 whole minute later. It would have to be. It's the only way to get you the money and everything go like we planned. He says, 50 of the dollars I should get back though, because it's a safety deposit. And then he says, it all matters on the soonest you want to see me, hun. She said, tonight, hun, your mom is like pissed and worried. Call her. Which we've seen his mother's text. It's really sad. She was texting Nick, telling him, like, if anything goes wrong, stay in the hotel. Be smart. Use your street smarts. Asking if he was okay. His mom knew in her gut something was wrong. And that breaks my heart for her. Yeah, she is. She has passed away since. Gypsy says, she messaged me to get you to call her now. And he said, I already talked to her, dear. Everything is fine. You need to answer my question, though, honey. She said, I will text you. We are doing this tonight, hun. It won't be until later, like in the AM. Time, so get your rest, darling. So see, Gypsy's the one pushing for it to go sooner. And he says, baby, should I still get the room tomorrow? She said, well, we would have more money, so yes, hun. And he says, what about sneaking you in, dear? She said, I will, hun. I am not forbidden from your room. And he says, you mean we will, dear? Baby, you won't be. Yes, we will, hun. Did you bring your computer, hon? If you look up where you're at in my house, we are close. Weird for a girl that was stuck inside all the time. She knew how close they were. And he says, honey, you know I always bring my computer. And she says, okay, good, hon. I just told your mom you're perfectly fine. Look at the time. It's 7:12. At 2 a.m., they would kill her mother. And she's telling his mom he's perfectly fine. That is fucking disgusting. If I had been Nick's mom, I would have gutted that bitch and gladly smiled in my mugshot. And he said, that's good, dear. Hun, does he require just the she says just the gloves and knife? She means gloves. And he says, hun, that side of me expects duct tape too, to muffle her. Yeah, his mom died a few years later. And she said, okay, baby, we have that. This is fucked up. I'll pre-cut it. And he said, that's good, dear. However, he expects you to give him the full role. He's saying, bitch, don't pre-cut that shit. You're getting ahead of yourself. And she says, I will. We only have black bondage tape and Minnie Mouse duct tape. This is also a lie because in the evidence, you can see in her side of the drawer of her mother's room, she also had Jesus Loves You duct tape. And he said the Minnie Mouse duct tape, hun. He's talking about his alter ego. Okay, hun. Dear, I should ask you this before he has to. Is your mom a light or deep sleeper? Light, hun. Okay, dear, now he's excited. She sleeps on her tummy, like I said, but light sleeper, hun. This shit's gonna go down tonight, Ruby said. Ruby's her alter ego. So Victor is his, Ruby is hers. She has a few. He used Victor in this. Anyways, he said, what does she mean by that, dear? He doesn't even clock it. And this is why I think whenever he said he was glad they made up, I think that he thought the plan to kill her mom had ended at that point. And then, like, we're back to it. Like, I don't know. It's fucking weird. It's confusing. Anyways, he said, please let me know as soon as you can, hun. She says, it all happened tonight. Or it all happens tonight. And he said, how does Ruby feel about that, hun? And he said, she keeps me numb in order to cope and survive, keeping me focused. And he says, okay, dear, I guess she seems to be learning how to deal with him slowly then. This is fucked up. For motivation's sake, bring your A game, hon. This is life with me on the line. Remember whenever she says, I didn't hold a gun to his head? She basically did, because in Nick's mind, what she says is very fucking literal. And she's telling him it's life with her on the line. I would rather lose life. Just saying. Yes, hun, each part is a slow lover and learner. Maybe not Candy. Which, Candy's another one of her fucking personalities. It's fucking confusing. I'll show y'all Candy. Hold on. Let me look up the word colorful. And I bet that picture will come up. This is Candy. And he says, babe, it's my evil side doing it. He won't mess up because he enjoys killing. Why you say that about Candy, dear? She says, she loves fast. LOL. Candy a hoe. He says, so she'll attach onto him instantly, dear? Yes, I mean my dom side, dear. And she said, exactly, hon. And he said, okay, baby, as long as it's only to him. And she would use other guys, or he will see to put her in her place quickly, dear. She says, that's right, hun. He says, okay, dear. Baby, please make sure to read the last message and answer it, please. She says, hi, sweetie, just checking on you. And he says, hey, dear, I miss you too. Guess you didn't have the time to answer me, hon. This night is going by slowly. Aw, I'm preparing. Him, I see. TTYL, I guess, hun. Oh, wait, he says, talk to you later, I guess, hun. And he says, I guess this because you're obviously busy. Or wait, I say this. Jesus. Sorry, my brain is going to mush because I know the conversations that's coming. I say this because you're obviously busy. And she says, LOL. LOL, okay, baby. He says, why the laughter? I don't get it. No explanation, I see. Today is really falling apart. Wow. Obviously, you're not as lonely without me as I am without you, because you're not truly communicating with me and you have no clue how painful it is to me, or you wouldn't be laughing at me. She said, darling, I'm getting naked in the tub. I was only excited. Again, excited is the word she used. Not nervous, not scared, excited. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just happy. I'm in the tub, hon. Sorry, dear. I guess I'm just missing you too much. It's overwhelming me. I left the gloves outside the front door and the screen door is squeaky, so try to open it just enough to get in and close it gentle. I miss you too. Soon, sweetheart. I'll hand him the knife and the duct tape inside, dear, or darling. It's pre-cut and ready. Remember, he told this bitch, he said, don't cut the duct tape. I want the whole roll. And here she is saying, I pre-cut it. She wanted a piece of this crime. Like, you can't convince me otherwise. Does your mom know about me going back with you, hon? And he said, dear, you're telling all this to my evil side, since he is the one who agreed to do it. So he's saying, bitch, stop talking to me. Talk to Victor. He's clocking in. Dear, I was open to her about that a long time ago, and she is letting me make life decisions by myself with you, hun. She trusts me. His mom trusted him. That's so sad. She just doesn't know the full plan, dear. Does her floor squeak, hun? Yes, he wanted me to ask you. No, hun, it's all carpet. Tell him my private parts are shaved. Oh, she done shaved her coochie. Which, I mean, you should before, but... okay, I'm thinking too much. Anyways, he says, okay, baby, he's excited to do this. What about the rest of your bottom half? Is what he asked me to ask you. He said, did you get your butt cracked too? No, I'm just kidding. He was talking about her legs. She said, I'll do my legs as soon as he knocks. So as soon as he knocks, he's going to kill. And she going to go shave her legs? Girl. He says, okay, baby, don't be alarmed if he speaks, because yes, it sounds evil, hun. I don't know how many of y'all in the chat have heard Nick's evil voice, but I'm going to read his text message like I was him. It would be, okay, babe, don't be alarmed if he speaks, because yes, it sounds evil, hun. And then at the end, you got to clock in the ha, 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 ha. That's his evil voice. Thank you. It's not what we all thought it was gonna be. Like, I seen those videos and I heard that shit, and I'm not gonna lie, mom bladder, I about pissed myself. I laughed so hard. And she says, okay, darling, I'm gonna go eat, hun. There she is, fucking eating again. But that's the third time in this chat she's mentioned she's gonna go eat. But I didn't eat till I was in jail. Okay. Dumb broad. He said, that's daddy's good girl. And she says, I'm doing my nails too. This is diabolical. She painted her mama's nails while she was painting hers. Just in case y'all didn't know. Anyways, he says, well, dear, did he expect you to look like his... Wait. Well, dear, did say he expects you to look like his woman should. So that is a good idea, darling. Red fingernail polish, hun? Question mark. Dear, to please him, I suggest you wear red lipstick too, hun. Just try and help you out, babe. She said, I don't have any, hun. Which is also a lie, because in the evidence photos, she has a whole fucking pack of nail polish, and there is a red in there. But this bitch just be lying to lie. Yeah, Dee Dee's nails were done. She painted hers and her mother's nails. She said, I'm painting them a darker pink, hun. It's not a darker pink. It goes with my pink boots. This bitch really said, let me wear pink pajamas, pink boots, and pink nail polish to commit a murder. Oh, God. And he said, lip gloss, hun? Possibly pink, if you want him to be a magnet to you. And he says, well, pink makes him a magnet to you too, dear. Or to you, dear. She said, I have pink lip gloss, hun. He said, if you want him to be a magnet to you, then wear it, darling. Okay, hun. So, will you, hun? Or how do you wish to present yourself to him? Answer that question when you get the chance to, dear, as long as you answer it. Hun, you still haven't answered the question. I'm still waiting. She said, I'll just be in my nightgown with painted pink nails and lip gloss. And he says, okay, dear, but when he gets you from the bathroom, I suggest you are naked when he sees you after the deed. She says, okay, darling, I won't say goodnight online. I want to say it to you in person, hun. And he says, that's understandable, darling, along with our first real goodnight kiss, sweetie. Exactly, Daddy. Aw, that never gets old when you call me Daddy, sweetie. Her smiley face. You should get some sleep, hun. Mom goes to bed at like 4 a.m. He says, honey, I got too much sleep already. That's the dark one clocking in. He said, I got too much sleep already. That was too much. I apologize. I shouldn't have done that. It was worth it, though. Anyway, she says, okay, darling. This is Gypsy and Nick's text messages. She says, oh, where are you out? Winky face. He says, hun, don't forget you got to deal with my evil side first before we have fun, so he may wear you out, because if you forget, he is the most sexual part of me. Please don't forget that, dear. Then I wear you out even more, honey. He said, I'm about to beat that shit up. He was fucking into it, dog. She says, okay, darling, I understand. She didn't say this here, but she said, I've been doing my kegels. Here's my pussy, nice and tight. This hoe. I don't know how she's still showing her face online. Anyways. He says, I'm glad you do, baby. I'll enjoy just being able to touch your silky skin. And she said, I can't wait to be with you too, darling. But you know, if you want to wait for smacks, we have all day tomorrow, just so you know. You know, after my deal, she's talking about murdering her mother. That's what she means by her deal. And he says, honey, our nicknames as a couple are Mr. and Mrs. Sex. 2 X's. That's important, y'all. Not triple X, though, because they ain't that freaked out. He says, so, what do you think I'm thinking, dear? She said, I know what you're thinking, hon. You'll have me as much as you can. He says, see, darling, we're true. Our nickname as a couple, honey. Or wait, we're true to our nickname as a couple. Because I know you won't want it any other way, honey. Right, dear? I guess you're not there, hon. Hope you're back soon. She says, right, darling. But we can take our time too, hon. Oh, wait. But we can take our time, hon. We will be able to at the hotel, sweetheart. Okay, good, sweetheart. I hope I look pretty. You don't, but that's my opinion. Honey, you'll always look appealing to me. She said, I hope so, hon. I'm shaking. I'm nervous. I guess it's the if it all goes okay. That's funny. If it all goes okay is why she's shaking and she's nervous. It's not the fact that they're about to kill her mom, you know? Wait, Into the Weeds podcast, YouTube, price, Google link drive. Yes, it is. All that's there. On YouTube. Okay. Baby, it will. And you better the not just romantic wife of mine, but also my twin flame female daughter soulmate that you were meant to be, honey. That is a mouthful. If some motherfucker told me I was his twin flame female daughter soulmate, I would have punched him in the fucking face. Like, what are you talking about? I would rather you call me a cunt. I actually like that word, but whatever. Anyways, Gypsy says, I am, Daddy. Just as a backup, if it doesn't go right, run out of the house as fast as you can, hon. Baby, there is no other option. He is going to finish her no matter what. This is how he is. She says, okay, darling, he is brave. I respect and admire that. Heart face. Okay, darling, he is brave. I respect and admire that. Did they take a picture of that twice? Oh, I think they did. Okay. How's the bed? Is it soft, hon? And he says, honey, you forgot though, he is ruthless and his hatred of her will force her to die, hon. You'll enjoy it, baby. He's talking about the bed. What will you be wearing, hon? Something that will terrify her, hon. It's all black, and my evil side picked the full outfit, darling. I want to remind y'all, he was wearing jogging pants, a black zip-up sweater, and a shirt that had a bunch of clown faces on it. So it wasn't even all black. But anyway, she says, okay, darling, I just have to remember it's still you. And he said, yes, just the darkness in me, dear. Just like Ruby is the darkness in you, honey. She said, but after we comfort each other? And he says, after we do that, sweetheart, I'll hold you like the baby girl of mine that you are. I would have y'all know, Nick's the one who cried after this, not Gypsy. Gypsy had to comfort him. Both of them have talked about that. Nick had regrets. Gypsy had none. But, okay. She says, and we will be happy soon. After this night, we never bring it up. The bitch can't stop talking about it now. She went on to do a show. She went on to fucking write a book. Like, it's all she talks about. It's the only identifying thing about her that hasn't changed is she's a fucking murderer. Yeah, he cried. He said that he cried because Gypsy was telling him afterwards what a good mother Dee Dee was. And he realized he had done something wrong. He was very upset. Anyways, he says, baby, we wouldn't expect for the part about us meeting, hun. We wouldn't accept for the part about us meeting, hun. She says, right, hun. I know we were clicking on the right, honey. What? I knew we were clicking on the right, honey. I don't fucking understand what that means, but I don't understand half of the shit they say. Oh, he says right tone. Oh, okay. If I would have just kept reading. Right tone, honey. Sorry for confusing you, dear. I hope you know what I meant. Thank you for apologizing, Nick, because I was indeed very confused, but don't ever call me dear again. Hopefully you answer soon, dear. June 10th, y'all. This is the night of the crime. She said, I know what you mean, hun. It's getting close to time. She took her sleep aid pill. I just want y'all to know her autopsy said there was nothing in her system. She indeed did not take a sleeping pill like Gypsy says. And he says, okay, baby, I'm trying to calculate the money for the ride there. And once you're inside the house, we stay silent, not even a whisper, until after I open the bathroom door. Okay, sir? Okay, hon? Probably $10. Dear, never underestimate his will to kill. And also, give your address so I make sure I have the right one. Her, I just want to say thank you. You're my hero, and I will never leave you. I'm staying with you for eternity. That was a lie. Not only did she rat as soon as she could, but now she says he wasn't her hero. Lying asshole. Then she says, 2103 West Volunteer Way, Springfield, Missouri, 65803. And he says, okay, babe, but he hasn't said anything yet, dear. Thank you, sweetheart. My house has the ramp, and the front porch ramp is painted white. He says, okay, dear. She says, you're welcome, my twin flame soulmate. I have said my I love yous to her. I'm at peace. Let that sink in. She basically had her mother's funeral while she was alive. The whole, I love you. Oh, God. And I want y'all to think about the fact that she says her mother's last words to her were, I'm starting to feel better now. Please do not hurt me. Whatever she said in this closure statement, Dee Dee knew. He said, I'm proud of you, sweetie, and I'm glad I could help. She said, will you need an anxiety med to calm you after, hon? You're the most important person to me, sweetie. You're like me. Fight for what you want and need. He says, dear, I don't believe in meds in me. I seem to be immune to them. But you just do what I taught you and I'll calm down if it's me. But just listen and obey my evil side and you'll calm down within time. And he said, listen to them is what he meant. She said, I hope he loves me too. Not just Ruby. Talking about her other personality. I got pain meds for my back and I exercise my legs, so I'm a bit weak walking, but I'll build strength. Girl, we seen you hustling all around Springfield on security cameras. What do you mean you're weak? And we seen you gyrating your hips in the bathroom for 5 or 6 minutes at a time. Weak where? Miss me with that shit. And he says, no, you mean to say you're like daddy. It could be part of why you're a daddy's girl, but you're more like daddy than you may realize, dear. Gypsy, I'm not used of my weight of walking. Gravity is new. LOL. She was really trying to con him too. Like she ain't been sending him videos of her crawling around the living room, butt-ass naked, talking about, I done my kegels. Here's my holes, nice and tight. And like I just said, dancing in the bathroom and all this shit. Like, girl, give it the fuck up. Nick knows. Stop. Anyways, he said, I believe in you, honey, as I always have. So I know someday you'll walk completely normal. Nick, she still don't walk normal. That bitch got a limp. I just realized the next New Year's, I'll be able to kiss you. I've never had a New Year's kiss. I need to practice kissing. We are like two fish going for one hook. What in the Disneyland description is that? She's drifting off to sleep. Is there anything you need to know? He said, and as for him loving you, my evil side does. However, you must obey him without question, unless you don't know what to do. Otherwise, obey him without question, dear, and someday he will worship you. 2. Baby, we're naturals. We're natural at kissing. We just need time to prove it. Oh, God. We've seen the videotapes. Will he allow me to wet him? Or wet your penis before he takes me, hon? I don't know. He's gonna do... I was hoping to do anal with you first. Bree, didn't you have like a whole 7-minute video about your friend and how she doesn't like anal? The girl was into it. It's okay. Admit it. We've seen her searches for her butt plugs. We've seen her prison emails where she talks about our first Easter together. All I'm going to wear is a bunny butt plug and ears. You like anal. It's okay, girl. A big percent of the population does. Quit playing. He said, not that I can think of, dear, except you're letting him in the front, darling. He is talking about the front door, you know, not hurt your pussy. Anyways, she said, 'cause at the hotel, we can go slow, Oh, and you may not need to put on the glove because we will sink it so it's never found. And yes, front. She was going to frame him even more than she did because she said, don't wear gloves. Ain't nobody worried about your prints. But we're going to mail the knife, for a trophy and shit. He said, dear, when he rapes, he takes all parts of the body. So he'll most likely do anal to you, hun. Oh, wait. This is his evil voice. When he rapes, he takes all parts of the body. So he'll most likely do anal to you, hun. Ha, 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 ha. That's Nick's evil side. Good Lord. He is still going to put the gloves on, dear. You know what? That's probably the smartest fucking thing Nick said this whole time. He's still going to put on the gloves. Will he at least put saliva so I don't get traumatized, hun? She means saliva, not saliva. She just, again, can't fucking spell. Anyways, he said, remember to take my words to heart, dear. Just listen and obey him without question, and he won't traumatize you. But if you aren't a good girl, he will then. Do it. It just depends on how well. You listen to him, dear. That's funny that he says, if you aren't a good girl, because we know she loves that fucking sentence. I'm a good girl. Yeah, he said that hot too. She said, I'll listen to him, darling. It's go time. Are you ready? At 1:40 a.m., she texts that. No matter what, I'm yours forevermore. He said, and thanks for answering the question, hon. So, should I call the cab, dear? I love, adore, and worship you, my everything. Yes, darling, call the cab. I understand, dear, as I am the same. I love, adore, and worship you too, my everything, times infinity. Okay, baby. See you soon, dear. And she says, by the way, the gloves are blue. And how long must I hold my ears, hun? 5 at most, dear. And the next time will be from him. He's talking about the next text is going to be from his evil side. Thank you all. And she says, okay, darling, I'll talk to you when this is all done. And he says, yes, hon. She says, sir, will you text me once you're at the door with the gloves on? She's sleeping, very light. He says, I'm here. Get your ass to the bathroom. You open the door. Yes, sir. I'm going now, sir. Breeze once at 2:08. And that is the last text message. Moments after this, they would take Dee Dee's life and then proceed to spend almost 6 hours in the house. She is diabolical. She's a fucking murderer. And then she wants to come out here and play on the internet like she is some kind of little innocent girl. Yeah, 6 hours in the house almost. They didn't leave till like 5 a.m. Yeah. Thank you all for the gifts and all that. Sorry, I didn't want to say thank you every time I got one just because it does kind of interrupt the live a lot. But I do appreciate it. I did see them, so thank you all. Oh, I'm pretty, thank you. It's the filters and the angle. Otherwise, it's not as pretty, but that's okay. Thank you. Yeah, they were. So after that, they had Smex in her bedroom. Thank you. And according to her and Nick did not get off. In fact, Gypsy and Nick both have said that Nick could not keep his soldier standing, and so she had to perform fellatio on him. If you don't know what that means, it means she gave him a blowjay to try to get him back up. It didn't work. And then they went through the house. She threw away a bunch of stuff, took the trash to the curb because the trash came up. You're quite the storyteller. I felt like I was listening to them. Oh, thank you. What else did they do while they were there? They cleaned up. Oh, she cleaned wearing nothing but her wig. ironic because she be wearing them wigs still to this day. So, yeah, they spent several hours in it. Did they do it next to Dee Dee's corpse? I don't know. So Morgan Elena found where there is DNA and it says body fluid next to the bed, but it does not say what that body fluid is, whether it was pee, semen, spit. We do not know. My makeup looks good. Thank you. Does anybody else have any more questions before I jump off here? What's my theory on the Barney doll? I think that Gypsy put the Barney doll there after the crime was committed. So if you look up like psychology and stuff, thank you. Oftentimes if a crime is like personal, they will do something like that. And the Barney doll was something she had had for a very long time. And her body also was covered up. But Nick says that he didn't cover up the body, that it was uncovered. But Nick also claims she never went into the bedroom. So how did the body get covered? Good question. What's the Barney doll? There was a Barney doll like tucked underneath Dee Dee's head. Can I show the last text again? Yeah. Oh, sorry. I thought I flipped the screen. The very last text is that one. Breeze once. Okay. What did they do with the house? Habitat for Humanity. Look, y'all, I actually have, hold on. I haven't scanned it and got it up yet, but I have her entire probate case, like all of the papers for it, including like what they paid for the house and everything. But Habitat for Humanity fought to get the house back, and they did. You have my eyeshadow. Thank you. Is there somewhere you can go to see all of this stuff? Yes, you can go over to Into the Weeds podcast on YT, and then you can click their little like About Me section. And whenever you click that, there's going to be a drop down. And in that drop down, it's going to say Google Docs. And all of that stuff is in the Google Docs. Dozens are asking me. Yes, thank you for pinning that. Sorry, there's a lot of comments coming in, so I'm not able to read them all. Thank you for all you do. Thank you. When do I get Bree's stuff? I don't know. They mailed me Bree's stuff, according to them, on the 12th, but I still have not got it. So I'm hoping that like the holiday just kind of slowed some mail down. I don't know what the fuck's happening. If I don't have it by Friday, I'm going to call them and be like, I will send money again. Send me the damn stuff. Like, I will pay for it twice. Is it at the post office? No. No, I've called my post office. Bree intercepted the mail. Well, good for her. You know what? If Bree came to where I am and she toughed through these ice-covered roads, she probably deserved my mail. Who is Bree? Bree is Gypsy's best friend. She is also her manager, self-proclaimed manager. Gypsy says she doesn't have a manager. Anyways, she got arrested the day after Christmas for a few things, but the biggest one was she had methamphetamines on her. So I filed a FOIA so I can see what the police had to say about it. How did it happen? Whose schmeth was it? Because Bree says, well, it was in my car, but it wasn't my purse, which is the most crackhead saying I've ever heard. Do you think Jip X her out just like X over because he was almost off with the head? What? I don't understand your question, babe. I'm sorry. What are my thoughts on Gypsy saying that bitch is dead? I think that there's a few things for it. One, I think she wanted to be able to brag. But two, she absolutely did that because she wanted to go back. She wanted to go back to the house. She wanted Nick to be arrested. And she knew, according to her, like, if I post this, somebody will find the body. But she also had to have known, whenever the body's found, the police were going to start digging. They were going to find out who killed her. She just thought, oh, well, they're not going to go and get all of our digital evidence and stuff. I really think that Gypsy was going to play this, I didn't know he killed my mom, just like she tried to in the interrogation. She was going to try to play the, well, I said goodbye to my mom and she was alive. I don't know what Nick did with her. You requested me? What do you mean? Were the neighbors ever suspicious of anything? So the neighbors said that Gypsy did come across as a sick little girl. They didn't suspect that Dee Dee was abusing her. And a lot of them, well, I can't say a lot. I've only talked to a few. A few have said they have thoughts about it, but they're all just trying to heal. And they just don't want a part of it because it's a very hard, deep wound for them. So a lot of them don't really want to talk. Did Gypsy have sex before Nick? Not that I can prove. Do I believe that Dee Dee was abusing her? I do not. So I have went through all of, well, not all. I haven't made it through all of the pages of the FOIA so far. But I have not found, in Dee Dee's search history, I have not found her looking up anything like to try to medically con anybody. And I'm sorry, but Dee Dee was not a doctor. She wouldn't have just known this information off the top of her head. She would have had to look up some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, she couldn't just be like, oh, my daughter is epileptic, and, you know, made the EEG come back showing that she was epileptic like it did. Anyways, so no, I don't think so. I think that the changing birth dates is weird. However, from everything I have went through, I have found the medicine in Dee Dee's bedroom to suggest or imply that she was being treated with Parkinson's, because the medicine that is in her bedroom is only prescribed for two things: Parkinson's and restless leg syndrome. However, we have a message in 2011 that Gypsy sent their old neighbor, or no, sorry, 2014 maybe. I need to go double check the year. Maybe 2014. Anyways, she sent a text message or a Facebook message saying that her mother had Parkinson's, but also in the crime scene photos, there is a brochure about Parkinson's. What do I do for work? I don't talk about what I do for work on here because I have two jobs. One of them I just do to get out of the house, basically. The other one is more serious, so I don't put that on the internet anywhere. So yeah, but no, I'm not a lawyer. I wanted to be a lawyer, but then I found out it was like 8+ years of college, and I was like, yeah, fuck that. How many days was Dee Dee just laying there before the police found her? She was killed in like early morning hours of the 10th, and they found her body on the 15th. Yeah, it'll slow you down for sure. I need to be in the FBI. I don't know. My grandmother was in the CIA. You thought I was a part of Case's story? Oh, a part of the case, sorry. No, oh, okay. I was like, what? Whose case? Need to become a journalist? Maybe. You're welcome. I'm glad I could open y'all's eyes. What does breathe once mean? It's like whenever you're like, take a deep breath, calm down, breathe once. I have it in my blood. Maybe. I don't know. I would ask my grandpa to tell me more about it, but he's dead. And the only thing my mom remembers about whenever my grandmother was in the CIA was going to one of the bicentennial things and meeting the Queen. Do you think Gypsy killed her mom? Controversial, but I do think that she participated. And at the very least, if she did not participate, I do believe that she was in the room. You missed the whole first half. That's okay. I take these, I download them, and then I re-upload them over on YT. So you can find my stuff over there under Audacious Audrey 06. You don't want to work for the first. I did a long time ago. You don't want to work for the first? What do you mean? Why wasn't this allowed in court? So some of this did come up in Nick's court case, but Gypsy took a plea deal. And whenever you take a plea deal, you don't go into a courtroom to have anything put up in front of a judge, in front of a jury, and all that. So the attorneys, the prosecuting attorney and Gypsy's attorney, were like, let's do a backdoor deal. And they did. They got her a plea. Was there a scratch on the body? People have sent me pictures of what looks like it could be a scratch. However, I have only seen the word scratch once on the autopsy. It was not the spot that everybody sends to me. So I need to go back and like really look at that with the photos and see where it is they're describing this scratch is. Go look at the photos, as gruesome as they are. Zoom in, see what I see as far as a scratch. So I can't really answer that one yet. I really haven't had time because I've been working a lot. So I think she would have got caught eventually. Yeah. Thank you, Leisure. Yeah, I have her probate papers already. I went over them. Oh wait, no, I haven't went over them on a live with y'all. I went over them on a closed video, like a closed chat thing. Okay, look, it's a lot of pages. Okay, but I have it. So I will try before this weekend to scan them all, get them uploaded. I will probably ask Amber if we can put them into her Google Doc, just so that there's not 100,000 different Google Docs. And like, I don't care about putting a watermark on them or any of that, because anything I get, I'm 100% like Amber. It's for the public to read and to be able to dig into this case. I don't need my stuff on that. I don't need a watermark it. So I might give it to Amber. I will tell y'all, it's honestly kind of boring. But I will do that so that y'all can all go and look and see, because maybe y'all see something that I don't see. Because at the end of the day, my thing is the more eyes on this case, the better, because more than one brain is always better. So, was there money left for Gypsy? Not in the estate. No. I found nothing in the estate. What is my YT again? It's Audacious Audrey 06. Yeah, it was not a free house. There indeed was a mortgage. I went over that on the live. I'll show y'all right now. Let me see. Homeowner's mortgage payment. Actually, hold on. That's reversed for y'all. Let me flip it and I'll just show y'all. So there is from the beginning of them buying the house to the very last payment. So, proof it was not free. I also have her utility bills. Gypsy blocked me right away. Whenever she did her video of the people she blocked, I was the 4th person she blocked, and I have never felt more honored. And I would like to give a moment to give thanks for that. I would like to thank my mom and my dad for a traumatic childhood, because they are the ones who made me not only slightly funny, but also extremely nosy. So, all credit to them. How much was the mortgage? At the time of her death, I believe it was $411. Let's see. I can go back again. Yeah, at the time of her death, oh wait, just kidding, it had dropped. Whenever they very first started paying it, it was $411. At the time of her death, it was $420 was the last payment that she made. Yeah, it's so cheap. No, Gypsy didn't get it back. Habitat for Humanity got the house back. You can watch the replay. Yes. Yeah, I wish my mortgage was $411. It's $1,773 for me. So, what happened to the house now? My understanding is another lady and her daughter live there. Yeah, somebody's living there. Yours is $3,200. Oh, prayers and sorrow. I'm so sorry. That's hurtful. Did they get SSI? I know that Gypsy was on Social Security, or disability. I think Dee Dee was. I'm pretty sure she was. I need to go back and look though. So we're going to leave that at a 50-50. Your rent's $3,000? God. Oh, thank you. You've been following me for ages. Okay. Okay. I see where people are telling me that they've sent me messages. Y'all, I've not been able to check my messages in like 2 days. I've not been able to really check my comments. I've been inundated with messages, comments, tags, and I love you all so much for it, but I've been working too full time, so I have not gotten the chance. I gotta go, y'all. I think my kid just fell down the stairs.